Okay, so this video is intended to show you how to update Quickbase when there is changes on the premise data in an area. So one thing that is just important to remember is that we can't make these changes ourselves, but you need to send it to Vinny at Vumatel, so that he can make the changes, because he also double checks everything, and it takes a little more less risk. It reduces the risk on our side. So the area that I'm gonna do this for today is Quickbase, and the way you do this is you go to the Vumatel Quickbase, and under premises on the construction management app you can open my premise data AB extract, what do you call this, report, and you go and you browse choices. Then what you need to do is you need to type Quickbase in here, and you just select it and say OK, and then display report, and you go more and save as spreadsheet, and it will download a premises file. So this is the 22nd premises file that I've already downloaded, but you'll notice that it's a CSV. In order to use the CSV, what we do is we go to QGIS and we go layer, add layer, because it's an existing layer, and you add delimited text. So then over here we can just go to downloads and select premises. You'll see longitude and latitude are already selected, so you just say add. The next step is to go to your planning folder. So if you go to in planning and the corresponding planning folder, and you use the latest premise data that you made. So here's a premise data extract. These two were made last year. I'll just move them to the archive, and then this is the one that I made now. So this is updated with the newest premise data and block and AG numbers. So what I'm just going to do is I will open this and I will save it as a CSV. Okay, so now that it's saved as a CSV, we can just go and add delimited text again, and you can go and select it, or you can just go and drag it in. The premise data that you pull in then, everything should also pull in geo and longitude and latitude. You can just add it, and now what you see here is that, maybe let me put the rear like that. So all of these premises are matching. Now what we can do is we can just go and say right click, open attribute table, doc, and the same for the other one, doc. And then I just want to split them side to side, and let's just move selection to top. So from this I am then going to just select a few units here. Let's rather do like that, 1 unit, and on premises I also just want to select that 1 unit. So now that I've selected it and it's the corresponding units, I just want to compare the block and AG. Block and AG. Those are matching. Okay, so I doubt that there's going to be any block and AG mismatches, but what I do think is that we are going to have a few what do you call it, street names or street numbers which aren't matching. And to compare that, what we need to do is go to the processing toolbox and join attributes by location. So you'll go join attributes by location, you will select premises, which will be the base layer, and you'll select the imported premise data. Then you can just select all of these, and you need to select your street number, street name, AG, and block. There's a number here. I just want to see what that is. Okay, so I'm just going to select related block and number, just to be sure that I've got the block number as well. So what you then do is you just run this, and as soon as it's done we can move on. Okay, so I did another one earlier which I did incorrectly, but this new one should be correct. Let's quickly confirm. So open the attribute table. Okay, we've got AG number, block number, street number, and street name. So if those are correct, you go and you select all and copy these. Close this up, and you can then create a new Excel file. So on this Excel file, what you can do then is right click, paste, and you've got your data here. So the data you don't need is all of this. I suggest you just hide it because we're going to use it a bit later. And we've got hide this, and there we've got our data. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to check if anything has changed. Now to do this I will use ifs, and one thing I'm noticing is that the AG and block numbers aren't matching up, or exactly. So if I just do a visual inspection quick, I'm gonna go and do like a spot check. Everything does seem fine, and I'm gonna use a shortcut for checking this. If you haven't changed blocks or AGs, this is the only method you really need to do this. So you copy these 4 columns and paste them across, you select them, and you go data and remove duplicates. Okay, so what you can see here is it does look like everything has or is matching across. So just to make it easier to view, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go home, sort and filter, custom sort. I want to sort by the C column and then by the D column. Okay, so there's AG1, block 1 to 30, and it looks like everything is matching up. So this is for 50 total blocks, or well 51 it seems. Okay, no, it's 50. So doing that visually is still okay, because you can just go to each one and make sure that you are happy with all of the data. Now, where this becomes an issue is if you look at how many units there are here. So there's 1,415 units. That's going to be a lot to go through manually. So what you want to do is you just want to go and have Excel do the info, or do this cross check for you. So let's see, this is to check the numbers. So to check street numbers, we are going to go and say equals if. So to work with an if, the first thing you need to do is give it a rule that it needs to check against. So what I want to know is if the old value is equal to the new value, then I want it to output a yes. So I want it to output text. If you want to output text, you need to add the double apostrophe, then add the text that you want to show, and you just add the other apostrophe. So it's going to say yes if everything matches up. Now, if it doesn't match up, you want it to say something else. So if it doesn't match up, then you say, for instance, changed, so that you know, okay, this value has been changed, but this one is matching up, so there's no issue here. Now, what I'm seeing as well is that street name and street name is just one to the right of street numbers. So to do this quickly, we're just going to drag it to the side. And what you can see is it's testing if this one equals this one, then yes or changed. So that is working out perfectly for us. So let's just change this to change street so that we can keep track of what's happening there. Now all we need to do is go control and down to the bottom, just having a look. Okay, that's all of the data. Then we select everything up to here and we just paste it. Okay, so first thing I'm noticing is there are a few changes, but not a lot. And here we've got some street name changes as well. So now that we've got these changes, we need to extract them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say Control All, or you can just click up here in the corner to select everything, and I'm selecting Filter. And now if I select this and I say I only want the ones that say changed, then it's going to show those. So I can select all of these and copy, and I'm just going to copy this to a new sheet. I don't need these. I'm going to right click and whoops, I need to copy this again, and I'm going right click, paste values. Okay, next step is select here, and I want to have all of the changed ones, but I don't want changed ones here. I want to show everything. So everything that has a change here I want. But I've already got this one on my other list, so I'm going to say don't show me any of these that have been changed. So I'm only going to have these three, which will be perfect because they're changing. Okay, paste here, and that's it. So we don't need the first column here, what we can do is just delete that. And now we've got all of our data. So record ID is very important when you're sending this to Vinny to update. And the reason being, this is the ID for this premise data on Quickbase. So what you can do now is you can just select your new data, highlight it yellow, maybe delete this, and just make sure everything is okay. So now we've got everything that needs to be there. What we don't really need is, we don't need all of this data because we've already got something to match it with. And then this can also go. So this will then be the old street name and street number, and this will be new and new. So just make sure to label it clearly so that it draws his attention. Okay, just bold this as well. Now we can see everything is there, and we need to change 1289 unnamed to 1289 unnamed, which doesn't make any sense. So I'm thinking there's maybe a difference in text here. So I'm just going to remove this one because the two seem the same. This shouldn't happen too much, but it does happen because of a space that's not there, or maybe this is seen as a date and this is seen as a number, and that might also confuse Excel a bit. So I'm just going to remove that one, but the rest should be okay to be changed. Like 0 Chris Honey really doesn't make any sense. 277 Moosey Street seems like it might be the better address. Okay, and this was Hoopu, but it's actually supposed to be Hippo, so this is all data that is more suitable for what we need to use it for. Now, one thing I'm noticing is the premise data that's on the system already are all proper case typing, but these are all capital case. So what you can do is you can just say equals, click on this one, oh wait, no, you type proper, so that proper, just double clicking there, then you select this one and close the bracket, and you'll see it changes it to the correct case. So I'm just going to drag this down, then I'm going to go copy and paste as values. Then I can just delete this, and that's how easy it is to change it from capital to a more appropriate case typing. Okay, so that's it, you're done. You just need to say this is the changes, and generally what's his name, Vinny likes to have the data as well, so you can make sure that you did it correctly. But all of these addresses basically need to change, so that is then the data we need to send. So I go save as, just save it under the Clipsprite premise data. Let's maybe say this is changes on the revision 5.